Hi everyone, how's everyone doing? So I haven't been live on here for a while, so I just thought I'd do a live stream. And what I want to talk about in this live stream is knowing what you want or need from therapy, and that's really important. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. So if you're watching this for the first time, my name's Marianne. I'm the owner and the counsellor at Marianne Hanson Counselling Service. I work with individuals and couples. I specialise in the areas of stress, depression, low self-esteem and relationships, and you can find all of my information on here. You can also find me on my Facebook page, Marianne Hanson Counselling Service, and in the comments I will make sure I put all of the links, not the links, I'll put all of the information to my different social media platforms. So the reason that it's important to know what you want and need from counselling is there's a few reasons, but the first one is that if you come to therapy and you don't know what you're there for, you might not know exactly what you're going to talk about. You might not know exactly all of the different multiple reasons why you're there. But I think it's good to have some sense of what you want from the therapy and what you need. Now, this helps the therapist as well in the way that they work with you, but it also helps you because you feel like you have a direction, or you know when you're in therapy that you are working on the things that you're there for. Now, an interesting thing is I had a conversation this morning on Facebook with a psychotherapist. She was a social worker, similar to I used to be a social worker. She's became a psychotherapist, but the language she was using and the ways that she was talking were around, she was using terms like everyone needs to heal from wounds and everyone is overcompensating in lives and everyone needs to go down this direction. So if you were to work with a certain type of counsellor who's using a particular approach or has a particular belief, and you don't know what you need from counselling, then you're going to go into therapy and that counsellor is going to take you down a path or a direction that you didn't even feel that you wanted to go down. But also it can be dangerous if you're working with someone who has their own held beliefs about how people should live or what people should be like, because then you could be in therapy for a number of years. They're then obviously providing that service, they're taking the money as well for being through the therapy, but you're not really you're not addressing what you're there for. So there's two parts to it, and I've made videos talking about looking for the right therapist. There's videos on here about that. There's videos on how to choose the therapy. There's videos on the different types of therapy that are available. It's about doing a little bit of research if you can, but also really digging deep and thinking, what do I need? Do I need to look at the past? Do I need to speak to a counsellor where I can just spend as much time as I need focusing on the past, because there's so much trauma there that I can't focus on what's going on right now? Is there a specific event which has triggered me that I feel that that's the thing I need to focus on? Is it that I want to gain understanding of why I am where I am? Is there, but just how I work, and I'm just going to be honest as me as a therapist, because I'm a counsellor as well, and I'm a coach and a counsellor. I need the person, we're working in partnership with each other, but I need that person to give me some clues as to what it is that they need, but I also need them to participate and engage in the therapy. Now, not every counsellor is going to work in that way. I'm integrative, so which means I'll use different approaches, but I'm not the type of counsellor that is going to lead the client towards something where they don't know where they want to be led to. But also I'm not the type of counsellor that's going to take the lead in sessions to the degree where I'm taking over the session. And when we have to implement ways of working that are not in alignment with how we normally would work, as a counsellor, that can feel really not as good. But then the reason some counsellors will do that is because the client doesn't know what they're there for, and the client doesn't know what they need, and the client doesn't know what they want. So then we're having to overcompensate by throwing lots of things in until we understand what it is. So it's just about, really, if you want to get the most out of your session, start by just asking yourself to start with, why am I going to therapy? What's triggered me saying that I need to speak to a counsellor? what are the things or the heals or, the wounds, or what are the issues or what is the thing. Do I want to stay in the past and talk about stuff from there, which you can do? Do I want to talk about what's going on right now? Do I want the type of therapy where every week I just decide what I want to talk about? Do I need a bit more guidance from the counsellor? I'm happy to provide things like worksheets. I've done that in advance. Book recommendations. I've even worked with clients where they bring their journal into counselling and they talk about the things that they've written in there. Sometimes it's just keeping it open and then the person can come into counselling. I think for me the most difficult sessions are where the client is present but they're not participating, they're not engaging. And there's lots of reasons that might happen, because I've even worked with severely depressed clients. That's one of my specialist areas. My sister was depressed. I've been around people with severe depression. I can work with that because I know that person who's depressed doesn't always know how they're feeling, or they can be numb as well at that time. I can still work with that, but I think if you turn up, this is to a client really, turn up, then show up with as much of a part of you that you can. Because if you turn up with, but you're only halfway there, you're there but you're not really engaging, you're there but you're not really, you're holding back so much that and this is not on the first session or the second session, this is, you've been with your counsellor for a while, but you are still just, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know how this works. I don't know what I need. I don't know what I want. I don't know if I trust my counsellor. I don't know if I want to explore this. I don't know. We're counsellors, so we know we can build that therapeutic relationship. We know that we can still help you to get to where you want to be. But I just think, you owe it to yourself, but also if you're paying for a service, even if it's free, it doesn't matter because you're still getting that service. If you've made the really courageous decision to show up and to turn up, then be in it fully, be there fully. Give it absolutely everything that you have to give. Put those barriers down, because the reason you're there is because the barriers are up in the first place. But if the barriers are still up in therapy, this is really where I'm coming from, the counsellor might not be able to break them down. So it's for you to say to yourself, this is the one place where I can be vulnerable. This is the one place where I can put those barriers down. Your counsellor isn't going to hurt you. Your counsellor isn't going to betray your trust. Your counsellor is there to help you to get to where you need to get to. But this is what I'm finding. I've been in this business for 14 years now, and it's just changing a lot. But I feel that the reason why the video is about, knowing what you need and want, is because deep down I think that people understand themselves more than they give themselves credit for. Your counsellor will get to know you, but they will work with the presented information that you share. So the more information you can give me through being present and engaging, through sharing what it is that you're feeling, through sharing what it is that's been happening for you, through sharing, how you, just your personality, just being there in the room and actually, fully immersing yourself in that therapeutic space, the better it's going to be for both of us to work together and get you what you need. As a coach, I'm all about results. As a counsellor, I'm all about results, but in a different way. Your result might be that you become more self-reflective, that you are in a session and you become more self-aware. That's not measurable results. You can't measure that by ticking it in a tick box, but you can feel it because your client will say, wow, since I've come to see you in counselling, everything's changed. I've started to become more self-aware when I'm using negative self-talk. I've just become more in tune with when I'm making decisions. It could be that. But then another firm result, if you're doing solution-focused therapy or you're working in a CBT way, would be that maybe there's evidence. There's evidence because you're saying, now I do this, whereas before I was doing this. Either way, it all comes down to you making a decision that when you make that first step to say that you want counselling and that you need therapy, and that is what you're saying, whether someone has helped you, influenced you with that, It's about you then saying, I'm going to show up now and I'm going to be present and I'm going to come into the therapy room and really, really think about how you can just be in that therapy room, because I think it's getting difficult at times. We're counsellors, we're human as well, you know, and it can be difficult. I'm just going to say this because I don't think counsellors really talk about this. When you really don't know, when you're as lost as your client, let's put it that way, or where you're as stuck as your client because they're not giving anything, or they're not sharing enough, or you don't know what they want, you don't know what they need, you've tried to sort of put goals together, you've tried to use all the therapeutic tools that you have, you've built the rapport, you've been working with them for ages, you've got the trust, but you're still in the dark. You're in the dark as a counsellor, and that really doesn't feel it. Yeah, it feels like you can sometimes then mirror how your client's feeling. They're stuck, but they're the ones they hold the lock to the key because they're the ones that know why they're there. You know, they're the ones that have come to the therapy. So yeah, it's a tricky one, but I'd say that if I was a client now, I've been a client when I've, you know, gone for counselling for bereavement, I would, before every session, I would literally sit down and maybe take 5 minutes and think, you know, I'm going to be in that therapy room in 5 minutes. What do I think would be most useful, or what do I think I will share this week? Think about it before you get there. Don't get into the room and then not know why you're in the room. Don't know that you're going to be in counselling in 5 minutes and then be there in 5 minutes and say, I don't know what I want to say, because you kind of, it's mentally preparing yourself that this is what I'm going to talk about this week. Or sometimes it could be that you get in the room and then you figure it out, but you just participate, just engage, because I think you will have the most deep and meaningful therapeutic connection and also therapeutic experience when you do that. So that's my feelings on it. Please feel free to share your thoughts, share your feelings. Thank you to everyone that joined on this live stream. I don't really go live much on here, but you can check out my videos on here, especially the ones about how to choose the right therapist. I think I made two. I made one probably 2017. There's an old video with the same title, but I've made a recent one as well, choosing the right therapist. There's also videos on the different types of therapy and everything related to this topic as well. You know, there's one actually that says, what is the purpose of therapy? I think I made that as a live stream. And also there might be one talking about first sessions or giving you, there's actually a role play as well. See, I've got there's loads of videos all connected with this topic, and hopefully you'll be able to check out my channel and you'll be able to find them. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.